Hey everybody, it's episode 27 of Pillars of Eternity. We're still exploring. The last one we got new little dwarfy. It makes me really feel I should have brought a paladin. Or made a paladin originally, but I guess these are the kind of things you learn over time with a new game. Oh, we can get up this way. Some more lions, because I'd rather not face more lions. I kind of like staying alive. There is a body with some stuff. Okay, pointless, but gives me money. Money, money, money for upgrades on our keep, which I will be trying to do as much as possible. I'd rather find equipment in dungeons, and I'd rather, instead of pay for it, and I'd rather pay for my keep. Oh, what's this? Oh, more people that donated, I think, to the Kickstarter? Yep. Cool. I mean, that's really cool, but I'm not spending a whole damn video just reading all those. If you want to see them, play the game. It's essentially all I can really say. Yeah. Goodbye. First thing you're going to do is you're going to try and knock his ass down. Second thing, you're going to mark. And I'm going to mark. Yeah. Okay, it's happened. Oh, you haven't done it yet. Second thing you're gonna do is do that. Second thing you're gonna do is that.
I'm here.
Okay, now... Oop, no, keep that on. Good.
Ah, got him!
We did knock him down once.
Settle!
He's gotta be close. Come on. Beat him up. He did. He did. Good job, folks.
Of course.
Wow. There's just a bit of territory in the middle. I'm assuming I'm not going to run into anything, but we can't guarantee it. Wow, we're tired again. Okay. What am I gonna do? How much time do we have left on that resting place? It is completed in a day and 10 hours. You know what? This place was pretty damn horrible. Let's head towards the town. We need to at least open it up. Well, we got plenty of camping stuff. We'll camp when we get to the new territory. Well, we'll see. Into Ottawan Bridge. We could go to Searing Falls, we could go to the Gorge. We could try to level up some more, but at this point I feel we're a little behind and we need to move the storyline on a little bit. Okay, we're going to slow it down again.
I'm here.
No, I want everybody. Okay, so we got another couple souls. Pause. 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 Alright, here we are. Commoner, I don't care about commoners. Commoners, I don't care about commoners. Of course, that one I could deal with. Goose and Fox. Okay. Hey, there's another fire god one. Pause. Alright, good enough. And we made it into Defiance Bay, kinda. Just welcome to Defiance Bay, but watch yourself in our city. That's what these guys say? What is it? I'm looking for a Temple of Woedica. Huh? If you say so, it's in First Fires, just west of the Crucible Keep. Okay. Jessica Forgant. Can we actually steal from these? I don't really want it, but I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now we got a direct path here. I'm going to talk to this guy because he actually has a name.
Hail and well met.
What can I do for you? Well, what can you tell me about Defiance Bay? Sorry, but I don't have time right now, but it sounds like that Dozens crackpot Rowan is stirring up trouble again. He jerks his head at the gate. He'd be all too happy to give you a rundown of the city. Liberally flavored with Dozens propaganda, of course. What's Dozens? I don't know what that means. Maybe gods? I don't know. I'm looking for the Temple of Wodiak. He scratches his beard. Not sure why you'd want to go there, he shrugs. It's in the first fires, if you really want to see it. Seem to be on the edge. What's the problem? Thousands of them, truth to be told. We've got refugees coming in from all parts under some misguided notion that things are actually better here, that the legacy somehow passes over. So they show up with no prospects and little money and just end up making the worst mess of things. He looks you up and down. No offense. So legacy's hitting here too. He grunts. And good luck to you. Okay, so we got to go into Copper Lane. It'll take you 15 minutes. Yeah, fine. Whatever. Don't care. It's like Baldur's Gate. When you finally got into Baldur's Gate. It took forever. This one doesn't take as long. I mean, what, we're 20...
Defiance Bay,
oh,
the city at the heart of the
First
Deerwood
act's done.
Revolution, now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by White One's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
huh. Cool. Well, not so cool, but cool. Alright, here we go. Into the first major city. He's a commoner. I don't care about you so much. Commoner, commoner.
Defiance Bay. If ever there was a dry field in need of a cleansing flame, you have found it.
Ha! Protesters. Rawlin's arms are crossed and his mouth is set in a grim frown as he watches the gathered protesters. He looks ready for a fight. Sizes you up. New in town, eh? You've picked an interesting time to visit Defiance Bay. All these refugees fleeing the frontier and finding the legacy is no better here. It's the Animancers. Magrins scorch 'em, and they nest in the city like rats. You mark my words, though. Us dozens are gonna put a stop to it. What are you doing out here? Gestures at the crowd, which buzzes with angry chatter, trying to get the folks to see reason. We're in the midst of a crisis, and instead of purging the nefarious forces from our city, the Duke is granting Animancers dangerous liberties. Okay. What do you know about animancy? It's a study in the manipulation of essence, which any sane person will tell you is the purview of the gods. The Adirans at least had the sense to outlaw it, which is only good thing you can say about them. It's not like magic, chanting, or the soul readings those ciphers do. It's been around since ancient Egwithan times, which is why you'll see Animasters tinkering with old Egwithan artifacts. Cannon raises a fist to cough discreetly into it. Half-truths, but he's an enthusiastic performer, I'll give him that. Shakes his head. Trouble is, the Animancers got no idea what half those artifacts actually do, not that they'll admit it. Our emphatic friend is correct about one thing, at least. Tell me about the dozens. He taps his chest. We're an organization of interested citizens who want to free Defiance Bay from the dangerous influence of Animancers and the tyranny of the aristocrats who support them. We also consider ourselves a militia of sorts, seeing as the Crucible Knights are little more than a flock of preening nobles in training these days. Just like a militia, the dozens, except for the training and discipline and the code of honor. His eyes gleam. And we're always looking to expand. The more people see things our way, the better state of our country. You have any interest in hearing more? Stop by Admeth's Den sometime, the Expedition Hall. A lot of free thinkers in there can set straight all the nonsense the nobles and the Animancers want you to believe. Might even be some paid work for a motivated type. Like to know more about this place. This is the capital of the Free Palatinate of Deerwood. We started out as the capital of an Adirian colony, but we booted the Flaccid Scepter from these lands once 150 years ago. These days, we're a major port receiving trade and visitors from all over the world, but we, some of us anyway, strive to hold on to the pioneering spirit that earned us the freedom a century and a half ago. The city is divided into 5 districts: Copper Lane, First Fires, Andra's Gifts, Brackenbury, and Heritage Hill. Takes off each one. Tell me about Copper Lane. That's where we are. This here is Copper Lane. Okay, we're doing a lot of disposition in this one, just to give you guys a head up. He taps a scuff boot on the cobblestone. It's primarily a market district, but you've also got the Expedition Hall directly north of here, where you can join treks into the wilds. That's also where my fellow dozen martyrs and I tend to meet up with concerned citizens. Hold on. Points to a long dome building west and north of your position. And that's a hall of revealed mysteries. Eerie place, you asked me. But they got the biggest library in Deerwood. Kinda laughed. Eerie indeed. It might be less so if the kith stepped inside. Perhaps we ought to visit Tyrolan and see what mysteries revealed. What about Brackenberry? A noise of disgust rattles in his throat. The nobility that didn't sail back to Adir stayed there. Most of the families there trace their lineage back to the old imperial times. Other than a lot of has-been nobility, you got Hadrit House, where Lady Webb and her spies operate, and Brackenberry Sanitarium, the main cesspit of animancy in the city. He spits on the cobblestone. First fires? That's where the revolution started, hence the name. These days it's overrun with politicians and panderers, but we'll take it back someday. That's where you'll find the Ducal Palace, the Valian Embassy, and Crucible Keep. He shakes his head. The Crucible Knights were the original freedom fighters in Defiance Bay, but now they are just struttering peacocks with their eyes on fancy titles and their heads up their asses. There's an old temple to Weodica. I don't know how to pronounce that. We keep it real nice for her. Tell me about Andra's gift. Got that name because it was the wetland that was drained back in the imperial days. Now it's a seedy district populated by sailors, common folk, and more than a few thugs. But it's a fun place too if you know where to look. He winks and elbows you. Look for a place called the Salty Mass when you're there. Other than that, it's mostly warehouses and abandoned homes. Heritage Hill? Shivers. Used to be one of the most prestigious districts in the city. Heroes of the Revolution claimed plots up there, next to an ancient Iguithan tower in the city cemetery. Had the best view in Defiance Bay. Tracks richer types these days, a lot of animancy patrons. He spits. He glances at the crowd and lowers his voice. You wouldn't have heard, but something happened over there a couple months ago. The authorities sealed it off, and they're keeping their mouths shut, but mark my words, animancy's to blame. Never mind, let's talk about something else. Bye-bye. Well, we got a pretty good rundown of what's happening. These people are pissy. Commoners, commoners, commoners. Okay, so I guess it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So we know where we need to go. Kind of. And we can't walk in the water. And we can't walk... Oh, we can walk over here. No, we can't. Okay, never mind. I'm just checking this place out, making sure. It's not as big as it looks. Hopefully. And the map's completely revealed. Ooh, what's this say? Calm water smell faintly of refuse. Ew. What's this place? Goose and the Fox. So that's where the beds are. That's where I need to go, because I got people tired again because they can't adventure for long periods of time. They don't have the endurance. Alright, we got a bunch of these people. An actress, a patron. Pause. Okay. Pause. Pause. Okay. Pause. Ooh. Pause. Wow. That one was really creepy. Sorry, that was just really creepy.
Good day, stranger.
Here for a drink. There's a tiny Peter cup in front of him. He turns it in one broad hand but doesn't drink from it. Rooms. Okay, common rooms 25 copper. I don't care. I don't need the bonuses. And we're fine. I just need the rest.
Well met, friend.
Tell me about yourself. Name's Bishop. Used to be a scholar of Bareth. Now I run the Goose and Fox and keep the regulars in line. He shifts, sees a warhammer strapped to his back. What's there more to tell? How'd you go from religion to taverns? Journey isn't as long as you think. It started with the Hollowborn and with this. Takes a black bottle from under the bar and fills a pewter cup. It was my sister's son he takes drink. At the beginning of the Wadelin's legacy, he was one of the first. Never expected there would be so many after him. Tragedy is part of the cycle, but it's followed by rebirth. Yet every year, more parents were grieving for their Hollowborn children, and the gods were silent. So you lost your faith? Leans forward, crossing his arms on the bar. Bareth promises rebirth cycles, but the only cycle I found was this one. He taps the bar. Have a drink, have another, and another, until I couldn't remember how I got home. Wake up, come back. I finally woke up one day to see my family had packed up and left. For all I know, they'd left days before, and I hadn't noticed, but they were gone, so I came here. Cleaned up since then. Now that I found my answers, he tosses his cup back. I've just stopped asking questions. This is a lively place. It was founded in the early days of the Deerwoodian independence by a traveling scholar named Earl of Levy. He wanted a place where kith of all background could gather and hash out the issues facing their new country. He rests his elbow on the polished wood of the bar. Didn't take long for the place to fill up. Brackenbury aristocrats argued with dock workers from the gift, while soldiers wrangled with politicians. Deerwoodians have never been known to turn down an argument. He sips from a tiny cup. What happened next? Soon kith were coming from the farms and settlements too. He waits at the door as if to expect a crowd to bustle in. This place got even more popular with the Valen sailors than the salty mast, and that was the problem. He drained his cup. No matter what people say about the fair-mindedness and civil debate, there's only so much people will tolerate. Errol found himself on the wrong side of an argument with the wrong Thane, and when he disappeared a few days later, some said it was the work of that Thane. He shrugged, spreading his hands over the bar as he surveys the room. But Errol knew which way the wind was blowing, if you ask me. He skipped town, hid out somewhere, hoping the rational minds to prevail in Defiance Bay. Well, you can see it now. Yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. There's another soul over here. There's something we could steal from. I'm not going to. Pause. Alright. I want to give you a couple seconds. Noble, bodyguard, commoner, mercenary, miserable bastard. Who are you? I want to talk to you, but I can't see who. Now you got a name. A woman sits by herself, spinning something on the table in front of her and watching it with a furious intensity. It's about the size of a coin, and it walls over a crack in the wood with a metallic rattle. She snatches it up with one hand, slams a half-empty cup down on the table with the other. This is not a good time. What are you doing here? She takes a long drink from the glass. I'm just trying to calm down, trying to talk myself out of something foolish. Something foolish? She says nothing for a few moments, as if hoping you'll leave. At last, she looks up at you, and lamplight falls across her face. A purpling bruise is blossoming over her cheekbone. There's something I need to give my fiancé, Perdnisk, only he doesn't seem to go anywhere without his new friends, and they're not exactly pleasant company. Tell me about these new friends. Oh wait, who hit you? She shakes her head. I know how this looks, but you don't understand. It's not like Perdnisk. It's these new friends of his. They've brought him worse out. Oh, sure. Tell him about these new friends. They come into our house with their dead eyes and black teeth. I'm not a fool. I know what it means. Perdnisk makes me leave when they show up, but it's obviously what they come to do. Last time they came, I told them to get out. Let them have their fun somewhere in the gift, but not under my roof. Svef changes you, I guess. The Perdnisk I knew wouldn't have squashed a spider. I never thought he'd... She trails off, feeling the swollen, discolored flesh. But Svef makes people calm and listless. It shouldn't make them violent. I don't really know. Something seemed better than believing he's always been this way. Maybe I should talk to him. Her hands rest on the table as she clenches it in a white-knuckled fist. There's nothing more to say to him. We're finished. I just want to give this back to him and have a clean break. It was his grandmother's. Even after this, I don't have the heart to sell it off, but if I go back there myself, I know what'll happen. I'll lose my temper, and I'll probably wind up with another one of these. I'll take the ring to him. She looks up at you and nods. The house is just north of here. Just please don't hurt him. As furious as I am, I don't want that on my conscience. Alright, I'll try not to. A lot of times they don't care. Ooh, neat. Back room. Stealing. Locked. I'm just looking around. Who's this? Hey. Pause. Holy crap. Pause now. One last one. Pause. So there's these little rooms, I guess. Actor and merchant. Okay. You can pause and read those things if you want to see it. Oh, cool. That's actually kind of neat. So anybody with an actual name is probably worth talking to. And we're out of time again. Of course we are, because that's what happens. We'll end it on this note. Pause. And pause. Alright, thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to go ahead and save the game, and we'll see you in the next one. This is Tyrolan signing off. Bye-bye.